Mike Davis. These days, there's two things I'm really passionate about: outdoor adventure and entrepreneurship. So we took those two things, put them together, and came up with this new show, Hustlers and Adventure. So come along for the ride.
So fast that you can on a branch, just put it on the ground and...
Inspiration for the name of the shop was?
Okay. Why the name of my store, Mictlan? Because the family of my mother, she passed away last October. Don't worry. So, on the side of my family, we have a tradition of use Mexican names. Mm-hmm. Like my name, Tzahui, is the dualidad of water.
Okay.
And then now you can say it's the god of water. So that was a tradition to use Mexican names and most we can. So, and then I start studying a little bit about the culture of Banderas Bay, Nayarit, Jalisco. And then I start looking why Punta de Mita, where we got our business, Punta de Mita. And then I look on the books, on the internet, I ask people, why Mita? Why Punta de Mita? But nobody really knows exactly. So, and I found on the history, then it was the Mictlan, because Punta de Mita is a peninsula and it's like an arrow point, and there's one place where you can go and you have almost 330 degrees of view. So I find out that that was the Mictlan for the Cocas, Mitla for the Spanish, and then some way it came to Mita.
Okay.
But Punta de Mita came from the word Mictlan.
It's really interesting that like a lot of the people that we're interviewing, like you can find all this information about them online, and you're like a ghost online.
I have friends and, hey Tzahui, why you don't have social nets? And I go, yes, I have social nets, always. What are you talking about? I try to find you like million ways. Yeah, my name starts with a T.
Yeah. I've looked you up. That. I'm really curious, like coming from the United States, I've had a couple different businesses there. What's it like doing business in Mexico?
For me, this is not like a business. It's like vacations, having fun all year round. But if you like, because I'm a workaholic, I'm a hard worker. I work a lot. Actually, when I'm working, I'm not that kind of guy that works 8 hours.
Yeah.
When I'm on the working side, I work like 12 hours, 14 hours. Maybe you heard that from me, right?
Yeah.
So I wake up at 7 a.m., I start cleaning my backyard, and I finish about 8, 9 when there's no waves, when it's flat.
Yeah.
But business in Mexico, if you want to do business in Mexico, there's so much way to do business, and it's easier to go well.
Yeah. Is there much regulation? Do you have to go get like?
Well, it all depends on what kind of business. For example, in my business, and it's about tourists, we got all kind of permits.
Okay.
Like all kind, insurance, all kind. Except for surfing. There's no regulation to be a surf instructor. Biggest challenge?
In running your business.
What's the biggest hurdle or the biggest thing that you've had to encounter that like was hard for you to get over?
Most of Mexicans, they had land from their families or a house or some kind of support, so they don't really have to fight for something, right? So I didn't have that when I was a kid. No house, no land, no nothing, right? So one of my goals was to have my own house and a couple of properties and do my own for my family. So now I'm doing that to my family, to my kids.
Yeah.
So as soon as I'm gone, they got everything, and I hope they keep going up because I know it cost me a lot, half of my life.
So Mike, what are we doing?
Yeah, so we're out here trying to catch some tuna. We're out a long way from anywhere. But hopefully there's going to be some big fish out here. is the area getting fished out at all, or like you have to go further and further to get more
we started
fish?
that.
Yeah.
We have affected in our local area with the tuna seiners. Those tuna seiners that left a lot of nets in our bank. That's why we had to come forward and forward.
Yeah.
Because the nets keep it down there, and the fish they covered with with the rocks and everything. They're die, you know. And a lot of fish die down below on the rocks.
Yo más que a lot of life where they don't like the free divers because there's tunas too.
No, seriously, before that's what they happened. I bring a lot of divers before. And I had it. I had about it for all men. They say, you listen to me, couple more years and you don't see these fish around here. Why? Because they're scared with the divers. And it's true. Because we have probably like 12 years. Those big fish stop coming. He coming once in a while, maybe few fish in a year, but not very much. Like used to be. We catch it a lot.
The corbeteña tuna, it's another species. They're always there. They're the most picky tunas in the planet. You can have the whole buffet on the boat.
I'm good.
Fresh, gargolite, squid, everything.
Chong.
If they don't want it,
The first round you say, oh, it's the waho. Keep it in one gear. All the time make it attention. You bring them in and maybe you get it. But they're very smart fish right now.
So my goals, one was like be really good at this sport, surfing.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to do a lot of contests, train a lot, but I couldn't because I have to focus on my business first, right? Grow Mictlan. And finally happens when I turned like 28, 30-year-old, and then I had a little more time to train and compete and travel a lot. Now, for example, my little son, he has all the chances.
Yeah.
So now if he really likes it, he can spend all his time studying first, school, minimum 8 to go compete. He got the boards, he got the boats, he got time with me to travel, do contests, international, local.
Yeah.
So I hope he goes like maybe world champion.
Nice. Yeah.
Like,
Awesome. So who was your other surfer fish? Who seemed to like fishing a lot?
oh yeah. Actually, I'm sponsored by Salty Crew.
Oh, for fishing?
Fishing and surfing.
Oh, wow.
Actually, it was funny because I thought we were ending on 5th place because of points.
Yeah.
So I rent a boat in Panama because I always bring my fishing gear. Let's go for the tunas. So we went for the tunas. 45 minutes later, we had the first two. Boom, boom. And then we got a phone call. Hey guys, what are you? Fishing tunas. We got the first two. What happened? We are on the 4th place and you guys have to gain back for the award. What? Really? I rode the boat for 6 hours. Yes, hurry up, you got 1 hour. Okay. So we trolled a little bit more, we caught 2 more. And then on the way back, we stopped on this little island. I forgot the name of the island in Panama. And I start spinning where the captain says, no, here you're not gonna get anything, maybe a skipjack. No, let me try. Oh, we got a like 30-kilo cargo. We scored. We went back with all the fish. We got our copper medal, and then we had the best dinner ever.
De caché,
Vamos
compa.
a
De
Panama.
caché.
Crazy fishing.
Yeah, they are protected really good at that.
Like your business is around tourism mostly, and it seems like this area is growing a ton. Just all Puerto Vallarta all the way out to Punta de Mita, and Sayulita is crazy. Like, what do you think of that? Like, I mean, seems like there's a good side to that. It like brings more business, but it's a lot more people too, right?
What I think about that, I think it's gonna turn in the next Acapulco.
You do.
I think they didn't calculate right, and I think the government make a big mistake putting that road, bringing so much tourists to Banderas Bay because it's not ready. I think we will see it in a couple weeks. Soon as they finish the highway, it's gonna get froze. There's not gonna be room for so much people. So I think it's gonna affect the business this way. The good thing about Banderas Bay, the north side, is that it's really exclusive. So, and you don't need a lot of tourists to have a good business, like Puerto Vallarta or Acapulco. So I think a lot of people, the good tourists, are start selling and leaving the place because it's gonna start being too crowded.
Really?
A lot of the what I know about business, because I didn't study economy, business, marketing at all. So it's from my father.
Okay.
He's been teaching me so many years. And every once in a while he gave me a lot of knowledge. Like, hey Tzahui, this is what is happening in the world right now with the economy and Russia, blah blah blah. You have to invest in this and your dollars and blah blah blah, and raise your prices and blah 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 blah. Really? Economist.
Yeah.
It's not just my business, it's the area. It's Banderas Bay. It's so sick to come to this place because there's so many things to do. Like, we almost provide all the activities, mostly in the water. Surfing, we're experts. You never get bored, even if it's flat. There's so many fun things to do. Snorkeling, while watching, free diving, waterfalls, hiking, million. So come on, enjoy Punta de Mita, Mictlan, and all our friends and the other companies. Why not?